Did you know who she was engaged to?
Jimmy Fennell.
Did she ever caution you about him?
Well, we had a conversation because the young lady that I was seeing at the time, her brother was a sheriff's deputy with Jimmy Fennell.
I see.
And she told me that if Jimmy found out that he would kill him. And when she said it, I took it more or less as a figure of speech. I didn't take it as nothing serious. You know, like,
oh, he would kill me.
yeah, like when you're young, you say, like, if you come home late, my mom will kill me, my dad will kill me. So I just took it as a figure of speech, and next thing you know.
So it wasn't a really dark thing when she said it. It was just kind of figuratively. You'd really be upset.
Right. That's the way I took it.
Did he ever have an inkling that you were in a relationship with her?
There was a time where a cousin of mine, we were together on the North End. He pulled up with another sheriff's deputy in a fast-drop sheriff's car. And he told me, "You're gonna pay."
So it was a clear threat.
I took it that way.
Rodney's attorney, Bryce Benjett, says what troubles him the most is law enforcement's failure to fully investigate Jimmy Fennell, a man who has a history of violence against women.
Attorneys for Rodney Reed claim Jimmy Fennell killed his fiancée Stacey Stites back in 1996.
Fennell went on to commit a separate violent crime.
Fennell has now pled guilty to kidnapping and improper sexual activity with a woman in his custody. Despite failing 2 lie detector tests when asked if he killed his fiancée, Fennell was ruled out as a suspect.
The real killer is Rodney Reed. The individual who raped and murdered her is properly on death row.
Well, Jimmy was released from prison last year, but his victim, Connie, says she will never forget what he did to her.
On October 27, 2007, my fiance and I were arguing outside a friend's house to the point the neighbors called the cops. The 5 cops showed up and one of them was Jimmy Fennell. I saw Jimmy Fennell speaking to the other 4 officers, and then the other 4 officers took my fiance away. I was real upset. I was telling Jimmy to take me to my fiance. Jimmy drove me to a wooded, secluded area, and he opened the door and asked me to step out of the car and dance for him. When I told him no, he grabbed me and slammed me up against the back of his patrol car and shoved my face down against it. He took his holster patrol belt and grabbed his weapon and held it against my head. I thought he was gonna kill me. Instead, he raped me. Just have 1 minute, please. He drove me back to the apartment. He handed me one of his cards and told me that the next day after his kid's soccer game, he was gonna come back. He told me he would kill me if I made any 911 calls. Jimmy Fennell is absolutely capable of rape, killing, covering it up, pretty much anything. He's an absolute monster. And I honestly think that if I would have fought him, he would have killed me that night.
Well, Connie, thank you for being here. I know it would be so much easier for you to just stay home, mind your own business, not be here and talk about this, but it means an awful lot that you're willing to come here and talk about it, so thank you for that.
It's no problem.
You obviously believe that he is capable of doing this kind of violence and more. That's your point, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I do believe that he's very capable of it.
What did he say to you when it was all over?
That if I told anybody, he would kill me.
But you did tell.
Oh, absolutely, I did. It was a police officer. Those are who you're supposed to be able to turn to, you know, when things go wrong. They're supposed to protect you. And here's this cop who did the total opposite. And if you do that to me, then you absolutely will do it to others if you haven't already. So I knew I had to stand up and say something.
Well, after you called 911 and the police came, what happened?
I took off running from them where they chased me on foot.
And who were these cops?
Jimmy Fennell was one of them.
So you call 911, the police respond, and it's your rapist.
Mm-hmm. And the best part of it is, 911 told me they never dispatched any police officers.